Exercise can sway the fate of cells. Exercise is the other piece of advice that we hear over again. It is strongly linked to a variety of health benefits, from heart and vascular health, to warding off Alzheimer's, to extending lifespan. But now researchers are beginning to show that exercise may function, at least in part, by affecting the expression of our genes. Some of the impact of exercise is comparable to what we see with pharmaceutical intervention. Certain types of stem cells can choose how they differentiate, and exercise and environmental factors can actually determine the direction that cells take early in their development. When mice run on a treadmill for as little as an hour 3 times a week, the exercise induced these stem cells to become blood-producing cells of the bone marrow, rather than fat cells. The stem cells of sedentary mice in this study were much more likely to become fat cells. Some of the impact of exercise is comparable to what we see with pharmaceutical intervention, says author Gianni Parais in a university press release. Exercise has the ability to impact stem cell biology. It has the ability to influence how they differentiate. If exercise can influence how stem cells differentiate into mature cells, it is certainly possible that exercise also works on the genetic level as it influences our risk for certain diseases. More research will be needed to map out the molecular changes that exercise brings about. Again, since the evidence is overwhelming that exercise does reduce our risk for physical and mental health problems, it certainly won't hurt to put on your walking shoes and get moving. The molecules that affect gene activity. Much more work needs to be done to untangle the specific changes that are occurring in the genes exposed to different environments and lifestyles. Researchers do know that it's not the genes themselves that are changed by lifestyle or environmental factors. Rather, it's likely the molecules around them, which can affect how active genes are. We are not completely at the mercy of our genes. In many ways, they are at the mercy of our health and lifestyle decisions and habits. Methylation is one example of the molecular changes that may occur in response to environmental factors, and there are other regulatory molecules that could certainly be affected by the foods we eat, the chemicals we come into contact with every day, the viruses we contract, and our level of activity. The addition or subtraction of a methyl group is known to be a cue for whether genes are turned off or on. A recent study found that in sets of twins, one of whom suffered from schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, there were differences in how methylated certain disease-associated genes were between the two twins. This suggests that for people who share identical genomes, the molecules around the genes may play an important role in whether certain diseases are present or not. Other studies have found similar results regarding methylation as a likely candidate for the changes that are occurring early in development as a result of exposure to the chemical additive BA, and in the buildup of amyloid beta precursor protein in response to inflammation in Alzheimer's disease. Sway the fate of cells. Be kind to your genes. That our lifestyles can affect our genes in significant ways is both sobering and encouraging. On one hand, our genes affect our health, since they can put us at varying levels of risk for health issues like heart disease, weight gain, and even depression. And on the other, our lifestyles also affect our health in significant ways at the level of the gene. Eating fruits and vegetables can turn off the heart attack genes, and exercise can sway the development of stem cells. We are not completely at the mercy of our genes. In many ways, they are at the mercy of our health and lifestyle decisions and habits. Family history can be a strong predictor of disease, but we have at least some power to change it. Making healthy lifestyle choices may not be foolproof, but for many it could mean the difference between experiencing a significant health issue and avoiding it. So, your doctor's advice is not just rote recitation. Pay attention to it with the knowledge that your genes are paying attention, too.